Hi, my name is Joe, and I'm the outreach pastor here at the Grove. And I'm here to share on the follow-up of Mark chapter 5. If you haven't seen Pastor Daniel's message this past weekend, you need to watch it. It was an incredible message that had so many things to think about and ponder as he took apart chapter 5. Isn't it amazing to see the power of God, that Jesus has power over demons, that he has power over the sick, and that he has power over death. And those three things, he was able to just share the power of Christ. And each individual that encountered Jesus was able to approach him, but not standing, but on their knees, because they knew who Jesus was. And we need that reminder ourselves in our lives to understand that without Christ, we're nothing. But with Christ, we can do many incredible things. You know, he talked about some very important things. He talked about being chained, and then he talked about this idea of being changed, and then the last thing was being commissioned. And that's for us as well. So how do we take it home? How do we take the message that Daniel gave and take it home? Because home is the hardest place. Home is the hardest place to share Christ. Why? Because your family knows you really well. You know, it's easier to share Christ with your neighbors, with your friends, and maybe some strangers, especially strangers, because they don't know you. But when it says in Mark chapter 6 that they were amazed at their lack of faith, in verse 6, that he was amazed at their lack of faith. Jesus had shown all these incredible miracles, and yet they still lacked faith. Why? Because the people, their sphere of influence, knew them well. You see, when I came home and I accepted Jesus into my heart, I told my family, I said, hey, listen, I became a Christian. And my mom said, yeah, right. She goes, you know, every week it's something else, Joe. This week, you say that you're following after Jesus. Well, prove it. And she said, take out the trash. So I began to share Christ with my family, and they were very skeptical because they knew me. They knew my sin. They knew my faults. They knew my weaknesses. And so my mom said, take out the trash. So guess what? I took out the trash every day. I literally took out the trash every day. In fact, there wasn't a time that I missed it. And when I was away on a trip, I had one of my friends come over to my house and take out the trash because that was my job. Until about a year later, my mom said, you've changed. I said, what are you talking about? You've been taking out the trash. Tell me about this Jesus. I'm not saying take out the trash, but you have some trash. You have a task that your family has been depending on you for, and you haven't done it. You need to preach and teach Jesus. You need to share about what Jesus did in your life. But you also have to take out the trash. What is that for you? Maybe that's no longer lying. Maybe that's doing something that you promised to do and you don't do with your family. Maybe you need to start doing that. What is your trash? Start taking it out every day. Because I'll tell you, because I took out the trash and I was able to share and communicate about Jesus, guess what? I got to see my mom. I got to see my stepdad. I got to see my sisters come to Jesus because I took out the trash. Now, what is your trash? I challenge you to take the message that Pastor Daniel gave in Mark chapter 5 and bring it home. Start sharing Christ with them and start living the gospel in their eyes, and you'll see great impact happen.